Hello everybody, I'm Allie, this is Sedona, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, we are going to go over the pros and cons of training or working with your horse bitless. Reason number one, it saves your horse's mouth. Really, instead of riding or working with a bit, you can use direct rein pressure with a side pull, and that way you're not actually putting any pressure on the horse's bars. So you are saving her mouth for other things. And you're teaching her also by using and giving to that direct rein pressure to work off pressure from the nose and off of the pole. So by using a side pull, you get really good direct rein pressure. Here's another thing about side pulls, is they're really nice and versatile because you can use clips. Just take your reins off, take your clip and just clip it to the chin strap, and there, now you basically have a halter. You can't really do that with a bit. Doesn't work the same. Another great advantage of training bitless is that it makes the horse beginner friendly, because beginner riders might be riding the horse, and until you've really learned how to hold the reins properly and give proper pressure, if you have a bit in their mouth, that could actually damage the horse. So using a bitless bridle, it's a lot easier for beginners to make mistakes because we never know who's going to be riding this horse. And it also makes it so you could actually ride her in a halter if you needed to, if we've laid that foundation down. Right, it's a good idea. Putting on a bitless bridle or a side pull. Honestly, it's a whole lot easier for a beginner, or for anybody else for that matter, to put this on rather than to put a bit in a horse's mouth, just to get you used to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off the halter, and we're just going to take the halter and move it back here so we still maintain control of the horse. Now, we'll take the reins, put the reins over, and this gives us a place where we can actually move the horse, and we're no longer dependent on just that halter. So at this point, we can take the halter off because we have control with. See, she didn't go anywhere. All right, so what we have is the nose piece that's gonna go over first. We're gonna come from the top and actually hand off. So she's got her head down nice and low. Now I have to guide that. I'm gonna go to the side of the eye. Fold, come over. See over here, I can put it on this side. So all I have to do is push it over, sorry. She's got a lot of mane, but see, that's a relatively easy process, and it doesn't make her head shy. It's easy to do because you're just putting a nose piece on. So there you go. Now, I honestly believe training bitless is actually just part of the horse's education, because they have to learn to respond to all different types of pressure. Not only from where you would put the bit in the mouth on the bars, but also across the nose and across the pole, as well as underneath the chin. And so when you ride bitless, you are not putting pressure on the mouth, so you know that the horse is purely responding to your aids, especially when it's a direct rein. Now, a direct rein is when I pull this way or I pull that way. The horse is responding to a direct rein. Now, when I ask the horse to back up, she's backing off of nose pressure. Now, an indirect rein would be what I'm starting to work with, and that's going to be also with button number 1. That is going to move the forehand. So that indirect rein is going to lay right here near that pressure point. So I'm going to work her into a neck rein, but that's going to be more of an eventual thing. But I'm actually working off the rein pressure and not any pressure in her mouth. Now, I'm also going to be working directly off of leg pressure and getting her to respond to the butt. Okay, now let's talk about the disadvantages of bitless. Number one, if you want to show your horse. Now, different show associations have different rules. If you're showing in the United States APHA, AQHA, they will let you show bitless as long as you use a basal up until the age of 5. And after that, you have to use a shanked bit. So if you want to show in a show association, you have to find out whether they allow bitless or not. Now, they also allow different types of bitless in other varieties of open shows and associations. So if you want to show, you need to find out what kind of show you're going to do and whether or not your events actually will allow bitless. Now, a good example of an event that will allow anybody to use whatever they want to is speed events. Most of the time, speed events like Gymkhana or barrel racing or any of those will allow you to use any kind of headgear that you want. So that is definitely one of the disadvantages of bitless. All right. Another disadvantage of going bitless is a lot of people say that they don't feel like they have enough control of their horse, and if an emergency happened, that they wouldn't be able to stop the horse. Well, that is true if you don't train your horse to give to the particular bridle that you're using. The big thing you're going to have to do a lot of is you're going to have to get control of the head and the neck until they stop and give you their head completely. See, until they get that nice bend, that's when you're going to have control, going to have more control. So you have to actively practice flexing your horse's head, and you have to make sure that you practice doing a spiral down to a 1 rein stop so you have an emergency brake, really with any headgear that you are going to put on your horse, period. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. And if you enjoyed the video, give us a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And remember, to see more, check out our playlists.